Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a research paper that proposes a pretty radical solution for a problem I think we've all had. You know, when your best ideas are just scattered across Google Docs, slides, and like a million different tabs. It's all about a highly structured method for creativity, happening entirely within Google Workspace.
So let's just start right there with that super common problem. You've got this amazing idea, right? But the pieces are everywhere. You've got a draft in a Google Doc, some research saved as PDFs, notes in one place, a half-baked presentation in another. It just feels totally disconnected. And honestly, it's a huge pain to manage.
Well, the source material we're digging into today, a paper on something it calls Philfo Creativity, claims to have the answer. It actually lays out a very specific system that's designed to connect all those different Google apps into one single streamlined creative process. Okay, so what in the world is Philfo's Creativity? Let's break down what this whole concept is really about.
At its core, Philfo Creativity is basically a method for treating Google's apps not as a bunch of separate tools, but as stages in a single workflow. The real secret sauce here isn't just using the apps. It's about moving your idea from one to the next in a very specific order, all with the goal of making it stronger every single step of the way.
The whole process kicks off with what they call a foundational workflow. This is all about getting your core content, your text, connected with an AI analysis tool. And it starts out pretty simply, actually. You take your main text from a Google Doc and you feed it into NotebookLM, which is Google's AI-powered research assistant. You can do this in two ways. Either convert the doc to a PDF and upload that, or you can just copy and paste the text directly in. Easy enough. Now, the researchers do include a really crucial warning right here. Before you start dumping all your work into the system, they say you have to review Google's data usage policies. And that's because the rules can be different depending on whether your work is for private, public, or commercial use. So yeah, that's a really important piece of due diligence. So once your core content is loaded up into NotebookLM, the process starts to expand. It goes from just text to visuals, and that's where tools like Google Slides and the new Google Vids come into play. So the workflow really becomes visual at this point. You take the insights or the summaries that NotebookLM gives you, and you can quickly spin them into simple videos using Google Vids. From there, think of Google Slides as your central hub. It's where you pull everything together, the original texts, the PDFs, your new videos, into one master presentation. And then finally, you can export that entire presentation as a single, polished video. But here's the thing, and this is probably the most important part of the whole methodology. This isn't just a one-way street. All of these steps are actually designed to form a powerful feedback loop, so you can keep making your idea better and better. The paper has a name for this, of course. They call it the optimization loop. The whole idea is that you take your final video output and you feed it back into NotebookLM as a brand new source. So now the AI can analyze your most refined visual version of the idea, which lets the whole cycle start over again, but from a much stronger, more developed starting point. It's pretty smart. And this quote from the paper just nails it. It really captures the core philosophy, right? The goal is that every single pass through this Google channel, from Docs to NotebookLM to Vids and all the way back again, is just another chance to polish and optimize that original idea. Okay, now this is where the paper gets really interesting and maybe a little abstract. They actually try to formalize this whole creative process with a conceptual equation for how a video gets made in the system. So here it is, E equals O+iA. Now hold on, this is not a math test. You don't actually have to solve for anything. The researchers are just using it as a kind of conceptual model to describe all the different parts that make up the final video. So let's take a look at what each of these variables is supposed to mean. So as you can see here, E is the final video itself. O and A, they say, are the left and right sides of the Google Vids interface, which I'm guessing refers to things like your creative assets and your editing tools. And then I is what they call the if point, which seems to be about framing elements, like titles or overlays. So basically, it's a very conceptual way of saying the final video is a product of its core assets combined with its structure and framing. And just so you know, this isn't just some abstract idea somebody cooked up. The source document actually notes that this whole methodology has been submitted for patent protection internationally, and it was also part of submissions to the U.S. Patents for Humanity program. So they're pretty serious about it. So let's bring this all together. What's the big takeaway? The Philfo Creativity method is basically a repeatable, super-structured loop. It's a system that's designed to take one single creative idea and just continuously polish and optimize it by passing it through the specific sequence of Google's own tools. Which, leaves us with a final question for you. When you think about your own creative work, do you think this kind of rigid, step-by-step structure would unlock new potential? Or do you think it would actually end up limiting innovation? It's a really interesting trade-off to think about. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.